Hello, students. Welcome to etechtales. I'm going to be your professor for MCO-021 Managerial Economics and मैं आपको कराने वाली हूँ MCOM फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर का पेपर. ठीक है, इसमें हम लोग पूरा इन डिटेल A to Z everything will be covered, starting from different blocks to starting on different units. जितने भी यूनिट्स हैं एंड ब्लॉक्स हैं एज पर द यूनिवर्सिटी स्टडी मटेरियल वो हम लोग यहाँ पे कवर करेंगे. पूरा सीरीज है, एक के बाद एक, धीरे 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 बहुत ही स्मॉल बैचेस में बनाया है मैंने. ये वीडियोस पूरा कंप्लीट देखना है A to Z, कुछ भी बीच में पॉज या डिसकंटिन्यू मत करिए. एंड विद दिस हेल्प इट विल हेल्प यू, मतलब इतना ट्रिमेंडस आपको हेल्प करेगा ना कि आप याद रखोगे कि हाँ चलो कुछ पढ़ाया है. हम लोग मैनेजरियल इकोनॉमिक्स का जो पेपर है उससे उसमें जो भी टॉपिक्स आपका है वो एक्चुअली में क्लास 12 एंड 11-12 के बेसिस पे है और थोड़ा सा बीकॉम का था, प्लस कुछ बहुत 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 इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक्स हैं जो आपके ब्लॉक 3 एंड 4 में इंक्लूडेड है. ओके, ब्लॉक 3 एंड 4 में आपको मिल जाएगा इंक्रीमेंटल कॉस्ट एंड रेवेन्यू, इक्विटी मार्जिनल प्रिंसिपल और यूटिलिटी, डिस्काउंटिंग कैश फ्लोज टू प्रेजेंट वैल्यू या फिर डिमांड स्लोप, उसके साथ डेरिवेटिव्स. देन देयर आर रिग्रेशन एनालिसिस जिसपे केस स्टडी बेस्ड क्वेश्चन आता है. एंड द लास्ट वन इज कॉस्ट फंक्शंस एंड इट डिटर्मिनेंट्स. ये आपका ब्लॉक 3 में है. सो द मेन पार्ट इज दैट आप कुछ भी कर लो, पढ़ना सब कुछ ही है. द थिंग इज दैट हर एक टर्म एंड से पहले आपको बस इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चन देखने हैं जो मैं आपको ये इस चैनल पे मैं अपलोड कर दूंगी. आपको बस जाके देखना है, चेकआउट करना है हर एक सीरीज को, हर एक इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चन को जस्ट बिफोर द टाइम ऑफ एग्जामिनेशन. एक महीने पहले तक आई होप जितना भी इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चन रहता है मैं अपलोड कर दूंगी. बट फॉर द टाइम बीइंग let's cheer up and do the MCO-021 Managerial Economics. Another one important thing to say जो I forgot, that is later on और भी बहुत सारे सब्जेक्ट के क्लासेस आएंगे that can also be other than MCOM, that is MBA का भी हो सकता है. And by my other coordinators जो etechtales के participants हैं who have been a great professor with building on this new platform, इनमें जिन्होंने मेरे साथ कोऑपरेट किया एंड दे हेल्प मी आउट विथ मेकिंग ऑफ द स्टडी मटेरियल एज वेल एज फॉर ऑल द टेक्निकल थिंग्स. सो इसलिए देयर आर अदर प्रोफेसर्स एज वेल जो मेरे साथ कोऑर्डिनेट करेंगे विथ अदर सब्जेक्ट्स लाइक BCA, कंप्यूटर एप्लीकेशन, मैथमेटिक्स, देन इकोनॉमिक्स का जो BSc पोर्शन है वो, एंड और भी कुछ टेक्निकल पोर्शन जो कि आपके लाइक डेटा साइंस ये सब रिलेटेड रहेगा. सो वो पोर्शन बाद में आएगा, बट बिफोर दैट दे कम आई हैव टू पुश फॉरवर्ड विद द बीकॉम. ओके, सो अनदर इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग आई हैव टू से इज दैट मैं जो भी पढ़ाऊंगी ये पूरी तरह से आपके इग्नू स्टडी मटेरियल बेस्ड है, बट मेरा खुद का स्टडी मटेरियल है जो मैंने खुद बनाया है. एंड इट विल हेल्प यू आउट टू एवरी सर्टेन स्टेज, एवरी टफ क्वेश्चन यू विल बी एबल टू टैकल विद दिस. दिस इज द मंत्रा बुक ऑफ माइंड जो कि बहुत 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 ही फेमस है मेरे एरिया में, बिकॉज मैं अब तक ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म पे नहीं आई. नाउ आई एम इन ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म, तो आप लोग क्लासेस ले सकते हो मुझसे. आई एम अवेलेबल. एंड मेनली अभी तो ये ऑनलाइन यूट्यूब पे आ रहा है, तो पूरा यूट्यूब से ही आप लोग देखो. अगर बुक परचेज करना है तो डू DM मी इन माय मेल, और यू कैन जस्ट टैग मी ऑन टेलीग्राम और इन माय द नंबर दैट विल बी गिवन इन द डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स बिलो. ओके, सो लेट्स स्टार्ट. ठीक है, मैनेजरियल इकोनॉमिक्स का जो पेपर है वो हर बार की तरह ही थोड़ा क्रिटिकल है. एंड द इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग इज क्वेश्चन दिस टाइम काफी बदल गया था. पहले जो हम लोग जानते थे कि क्वेश्चन थोड़ा मतलब ये से आएगा शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन, सॉरी लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन आता है 20 मार्क्स, देन 25, 30 मार्क्स, 40, ये लोग पूछ लेते हैं. बट नाउ द क्वेश्चन पेपर हैज बीन ब्रोकन डाउन इनटू स्मॉल स्मॉल पोर्शन लाइक 10 मार्क्स, 5 + 5, 4 + 2, like this. So question are broken down. Comment on certain paras are there, as well as difference पूछते हैं, then short notes are there. So there are plenty of things they ask. But one important thing is to say, as you know, when they ask in chunk, you can write something from your own. Like if they ask for your 20 marks question or 10 marks question or 15 marks question, you can answer it as per your own need. Okay, you just have to remember the key points, you can write it down. But now since they are asking on short notes, this means you have to read more, you have to know the topics more, you have to understand the short words, short notes more, you have to emphasize on the keywords more. Okay, that's why this study material is framed. Other than this, just before the time of examination, I might put forward some strategy to clear this exam, to clear this paper with the help of summary revision videos in one go, starting from all the blocks in one video. Okay, that can happen, but I am not planning for that right now. Right now, we will be doing a full fledged video session. Another important thing, if you like the video, do like, share, and subscribe with your friends in your circle and tell them to do the class from here. Okay. So, MCO-021 Managerial Economics. हमें economics का definition पता है. We know what economics is. We have done that in class 11, in class 12, in BCom. So, I am not going into the details of what is economics, but I can tell you that economics is something that relates to the economy of the country. Okay, this is divided into two parts, that is microeconomics and macroeconomics. Microeconomics is the applicable word which impacts on individual decision making. When some one person is trying to decide on his own about the concern, about the company, about any firm or company on managerial level, to take a particular decision, that time managerial economics is popular, and it is an application of microeconomics. So from the first thing that we understand is managerial economics is an application of microeconomics. Okay, from this, we can also say that all the topics such as risk, demand, we already know all these things, such as demand, supply, market equilibrium, market structures, public goods, market failures, all these terminologies, we are familiar with these, and they are more into microeconomics. Okay. So I have given here the paras actually, that what paras you have to read. And in the first phase, in the market system, all these blocks are there. I have just broken down as the institute material is there. We will start with unit 1, but before that I'll tell you what unit 1 has. It has the nature and scope of managerial economics. We will also study about the branches, that is micro and macro, and you will also know about the public finance, international trade, agricultural economics, etc., and the division mostly. Okay, so let's just jump into directly unit 1, managerial economics scope. So in this video, I will not be able to complete the full, but I'll try to complete the half. That is until up to point 1, 1.4 or 1.3 somewhere. Okay, so let's start. So what are the objectives? Understand the nature and scope of managerial economics. What is managerial economics, that we will understand. With that, we will understand and familiarize ourselves with economics and the terminologies used. Okay, we will understand the insights of economic issues, such as there are many issues. Now it can be macroeconomic as well, starting from inflation, unemployment, everything. So for that purpose, we will get some insights. We'll understand about the different economic institutions. We'll get to that later. Understand the concepts of trade-off or policy options. Okay, policy options are more like monetary policy, then fiscal policy, then the policy that is adopted by the bank, so that you go as any company, individual executive, and you approach to bank for loans. Okay, now the banks decide as per your stability or as per the economy has given him the power to charge a certain percentage on the loans they will provide to you. Okay, these policies are more of policy options. Okay, let's start. So what is managerial economics? Managerial economics suggests the study of overall economy and its aggregates such as gross natural product, inflation, unemployment, exports, imports, taxation policy, etc. Macroeconomics addresses questions about changes in investments, government spending, employment, prices, exchange rates of a rupee, or so on. There are also aggregate levels of these variables which are considered in the study of macroeconomics, but they're hidden in a data. Okay, they're not that much important. Although macroeconomic issues are important and occupy the time of media and command, macroeconomic aspects of economy are also important and often are they have more direct application to day problems. Okay. As I said, like inflation, unemployment, then economic growth, lower economic growth, they are more of like that. I mean, they are there to grab your attention in through with the help of newspaper. But micro are more into day to day applications. Like we use them in every decision we take. Okay. So microeconomics deals with individual factors in economy. Okay. Managerial economics can be thought of an applied economics, as I said. So please remember this word, that managerial economics can be thought of a applied microeconomics. Okay. Now let's focus on managerial economics is how it reacts to the firm and its changes. Okay. It's a study of how human beings in a society go about achieving their wants and desire. It deals with human beings' wants and desire. Okay. It also studies in allocation of scarce resources to satisfy individuals, and it takes care of the um, unlimited resources, scarce resources, to make them a limited one. Okay, like there should be no wastage of these scarce resources. We have to use them wisely in every place that we are using it as a resource. For example, coal production, we use it wisely when we are producing electricity out of coal. Okay, that's by thermal process or by carbon emission process. Okay, so that is an example. We also know that markets can be competitive and monopolistic. So in that area, we will have to know the time of entry and exit with the help of government, or we have to know that what are the different government licensing that are restricted to different firms. Okay, these will mostly the micro areas. Okay, in the end we can say one thing: microeconomics deals with day to day activities, and my managerial economics is a part of microeconomics. So this is what the whole story is about. Okay, let's go to fundamental nature of managerial economics. Here there is a definition provided of management as a creation and maintenance of an internal environment in an enterprise while individuals working together in groups can perform efficiently and effectively towards the attaining of group goals. Okay, so management works on creation and maintenance of different group goals. Okay, now management is what is a coordination and an activity or an ongoing process. Obviously management can never stop. Once you start managing, you have to keep on managing throughout your life. It has a purpose, a process which goes, it is an ongoing process, obviously, and it tells it is an art of getting things done by other people. Okay, so you have to get the activities that is mentioned in your company or in your firm to be done by other people. Obviously these people are getting paid, so you get to get them work on your behalf. That's called management. Okay, in other hand, we know economics are stated above with the two factors of life, as a scarcity of resources results from there, which are what? Human wants and economic resources. So why human wants are there? It is virtually unlimited. We have unlimited demands and we are never fulfilled by something. So we want more, new things, new ideas. Everything should be new, ongoing process. Okay, but economics says that the resources, they are limited, so you have to use the resources in a wiser manner. Okay, so economic resources to satisfy these human demands are limited. Okay, so we have to choose and decide what we want to produce. Like what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce. So these are the three most common question asked when some person is going through any individual decision making to put into effect in the market. Okay. Now what is market? Market consists of business, customers, market functions and prices. So all these four things, they are directly impacted by the managers. Okay. The decision you take has to be taken as per what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce. Whom is the customer. Okay. Economics has developed several concepts and analytical tools to deal with questions of allocation of scarce resources among competing ends. The non trial problem that needs to be addressed is how an economy, through its various institutions, solves or answers the three crucial questions posted above. Okay, one entirely by the market mechanism. So, how they are going to get answered? One is by market mechanism, secondly, by the government, or finally, or more precisely, by a combination of the two. So first one is by market mechanism. This means what to produce, we have to check the market mechanism. How to produce, we need to get it done or get it agreed by the government whether it is legally available to be produced or not. And once it is produced, we have to decide who are the target customers. Okay. And that depends on the market mechanism as well as the government. So both are important. Great. Now, in India, the market has started playing a more important role in economy while the government has begun to withdraw from certain activities. Thus, the market mechanism is gaining importance. In similar change is happening all over the world, including in China. But there are economies such as Myanmar, Cuba, where the government still plays an overwhelming part in solving the resource allocation problem. So the first issue that has arisen here is, does the government of our country provide us or help us in solving the resource allocation problem? If yes, and if no, then how is the market mechanism helping us? Okay, with regard to that, right? Essentially, the market is supposed to guide resources to their most effective use. The government, if any, could provide a regulatory function to ensure quality and customer protection. Okay. According to Central reduction of economic theory. Under certain conditions, market allocates resources efficiently. Efficiently has a special meaning. The theory says market will produce an outcome such that given the economy's scarce resources, it is impossible to make anybody better off without making something else worse off. Okay? Now we'll go into understanding what is market failure. There are four types. Why market failure happens? That is due to monopoly. First, second is public goods, third is externalities, and the fourth one is information. How is monopoly impacting market failure? Market failure, by reducing his sales, a monopolist can drive up the price of his good. Wow. His sales will fall, but his profits will rise. Consumption and production are less than the efficient amount, causing a deadweight loss in welfare. Okay? Public goods. Some goods cannot be supplied by markets. If you refuse to pay for a new coat, the seller will refuse to supply you. If you refuse to pay for national defense, the good cannot easily be withheld. You might be tempted to let others pay. Okay? Externalities. Making some goods cause pollution. The cost is borne by people with no say in deciding how much to produce. Consuming some goods, education, anti-lock brakes, spreads benefits beyond the buyer. Again, this will be ignored when the market decides how much to produce. In the case of good externalities, market will supply too little. In the case of bad, too much. So they are saying is that when there is a market deficiency, or when there are certain products that are being manufactured, you have to keep one thing in mind, that whether it is useful to you or not. Okay, like for example, the pollution is happening. Okay, still we are buying AC, fridge, which emits carbon, which emits certain gases that causes the pollution, that is carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, etc. So still the thing is that even if all these externalities are there, we are more leaned towards the comfort. Okay. So we are not going to blame the cost on some other random person. Everyone is buying, so it's okay. This will be ignored when market decides. So as the demand for the ACs have increased, the market will ignore the problem of pollution. That is what externalities is claiming. Information. In some ways, a special kind of externality. This deserves to be mentioned separately because of the emphasis placed upon its recent economic theory. To see why information matters, consider the market. The labor market, many economists believe, is another such market for layman's. This may help to explain why it is so difficult for the unemployed to price themselves into work. Yes, this is the most important thing that you have to know, right? You can get yourself compared to any other person who has been working, but since you are unemployed, you cannot say what you should be claiming from people when you work. Okay, when markets fail, the thing happens is you have to lower down your price, right? When markets fail, there is a case for intervention. Okay, we have to sit down, we have to talk about it, that yes, this cannot happen, our price cannot go down. I can give you a very, very good example of this. That is, during the time of COVID, there were a lot of people who were traveling back to their homes with the help of the railway tracks, right? The thing is that at that time, people were not needed, like the workers were not needed. They were instructed to go back. The vehicles were not in place, they were not running. So the main issue that caught up is that people had the major drawback of what to do, how to survive the situation, how to live, how to go back to the family. So they stopped thinking about they stayed home. Rest of the people stayed home. Those people, those workers who were outside, they have nothing else to do. They had to go back because they don't have any home. The government failed to provide homes to them. Okay? They didn't provide food, anything. So for that reason, we can say that all of a sudden you cannot at that moment their value to this country was completely zero at that point, because everyone has was like, yeah, let's stay at home and stay alive, and they have nothing to stay alive for. No food, no money, nothing. So that is what I'm saying is like it is difficult. Like at that stage, market has failed so much, so much that the share market also got crashed. It terribly crashed. Okay. So this is all about market failure. So the third one, the scope of managerial economics. Now, here there is a small definition that you need to know. Okay. Managerial economics is the study. So from here you will learn the definition. Managerial economics is the study of allocation of resources available to a firm or a unit of management among the activities of that unit. Okay. Managerial economics is concerned with application. So application of what? Application of economic concepts. Study of allocation of resources available to firm or a unit of management. Study of allocation of resources available to a firm. Okay. Now there are four types of problem that comes up when four groups of problems actually when decision making is going on as well as forward planning is happening. First thing we have to decide is where we will be doing the allocation of the resources. Second is the inventory and queuing problem. Third one is the pricing problem, that how much money should we charge from the customers. And the fourth is the investment problem. That is how will I mean what where will we invest in the future, so that whenever there is going to be and forward there is going to be a forward planning, which means whenever there is a time of scare in the market, you can revive your system so that it doesn't stop. Okay, the management, the process doesn't stop. For example, if you are manufacturing any particular product, you have to keep one thing in mind, that the raw materials are always incoming. Due to any reason, it cannot stop. Okay. Resource allocation. Scarce resources must be used with utmost efficiency to get optimal results. These include production, programming, and problem of transportation, etc. How does resource allocation take place into a firm? Naturally, a manager decides how to allocate resources to their respective users within the firm, while as stated above. The resource allocation decision outside the firm is primarily done through market. So whenever there is a resource allocation, it is of two parts. First is dealt with the internal, and the another one is dealt with the external. Internal management decides how to allocate the resources, and the external environment decides how the resource will get allocated. Okay. Inventory and queuing problem, they are mostly due to the optimum levels of stocks of raw materials and finished goods. So these decisions are to be taken as per demand and supply. Okay. As per demand and supply, you have to make your stocks, and you have to keep your stocks or make them. Okay. Pricing problem depends on the firm's competitiveness mostly. We have to fix prices for products of a firm is an important decision. It involves decision regarding various methods of prices to be adopted. Now there are process. Okay, if you study cost and management accountancy, you will get to know that there are different processes that involves the fixation of a price of a product. Okay, so we have to use that while we are computing the the price of a product. For example, what is the raw material consumed, what is the price of the fixed cost that has been incurred while producing, what are the different variable costs that we face while producing the product. All these things are to be taken into the selling price of the product. Okay, and there is going to be some profit that I want to claim from that production process. Okay, so that is the pricing problem and how it should be resolved. Now, investment problem, as I've already told you this one. Okay. Study of managerial economics essentially involves economics involving the analysis of certain major subjects. What we will study here, we'll study about the firm and its objectives. We will understand demand analysis and forecasting. We'll understand production and cost analysis, pricing theory, policies, profit analysis, capital budgeting, and competition. Okay. Now, profit analysis is when there is a break-even point. Now, what is break-even point? Okay, whenever a product is being produced, okay, at certain point it attains profit. Okay. Before that, it is in loss. Now the sale is happening. Suppose a product is starting to getting recognized in the market and it is being sold. Okay. Now at certain point the cost of the product is fulfilled. Okay. And after when once the cost of the product is recovered from the market, then you start to get your profit. Okay. So that point where the profit cuts the profit margin, cost cuts the profit margin, that is called the break even point. Okay. We have to do capital budgeting. Capital budgeting is finding out the budget of of any project as per different capacity of output of investment. Here it is asking about different investments. So if you are doing an investment in suppose any mutual funds or something, big mutual funds house, if you are doing in taking for bank loans, investing in bank, investing in other companies, and computing the percentage of incoming profit that you can make as a form of percentage. Okay, so that is something which is useful for capital, which can be used in the form of capital budgeting. Okay, you have to decide as per percentage and you can analyze at what percentage you can assume to make a profit at that stage. Okay, now demand analysis and forecasting, this you already know, this is here only. Okay, help a manager in the earliest stage to choose the product and planning output levels. So output levels is connected with capital budgeting. Okay. A study of demand elasticity goes, okay, this is something that we'll study later. Okay. Goes a long way and helping the firm to fix prices. Theory of cost also form essential part of this subject. Thus, managerial economics tries to find out that this course, which course is likely to be the best for the firm under a given set of conditions. So, this is all about the first few units. This is all about what managerial economics is, what are the scopes, what are the fundamental natures, etc. Okay, so let's keep it till here. We'll continue in the next class. Okay, thank you so much for your class.